guys, this is Jerry Mateo with Plugin Boutique, and today we're going to be taking a look at ZenoVerb from Audiority. So this is their newest algorithmic reverb, and after their last one, I was pretty much set on the idea that I wasn't going to be impressed by any new reverbs anytime soon. The last one was pretty amazing. But I was delightfully wrong. They have come out with a new reverb that has 10 completely different algorithms in it. It has a room, a hall, 2 plates, a spring box, glass, flow, shimmer, bode, and formant. These first 5, you know what they do. But glass is a really interesting one. It basically has a almost transparent sound. Now, flow is very, very interesting because it has this bloom function and it has a highly, highly diffused sound. It almost sounds like a river. I believe it's emulating a older series of gear. And then we have shimmer, which has 2 pitch shifters built into it. And this is probably one of my favorites as far as when you're doing stuff on electric guitars. Sometimes for solos and stuff, you want that like 2 different shifting to kind of give this movement and this sense of like life. Bode has a frequency shifter inside of it with the band mix. And as you can see here, the controls do change when you do change the algorithms. But this one has a really interesting sound, really great for more metallic kind of sounds, maybe even some sound design. And last, we have Formant, which, like its name implies, has a Formant shifter inside of it. And this one is probably one of my favorites as far as if you want to do sci-fi-esque or really cinematic sounds, this is the one you want to go to. So now that we've finished talking about the different algorithms, let's go over the basic controls. You have pre-delay, diffusion, time, modulation, tone, which is basically all the way to the left is low and heavy, all the way to the right is high and heavy, size, low cut, and mix. Now, everything besides size and low cut stays the same. And like all plugins from Audiority, you can lock parameters. You have a limiter and a freeze function, which basically freezes whatever comes in. I'll show you.
We've been
Really cool, right? You have the activate button, and I'm kind of really digging the way that it looks kind of like a little stomp box. But what I meant when I said earlier that size and low frequency cut are the ones that are not the same between all of them. If I go to flow, we have bloom. And if we go to shimmer, we have pitches. Bode has frequency and band mix, and formant has formant and peak. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a quick little sound test and see how this sounds like on this lead vocal. Let's go maybe somewhere around here, and let's see how this sounds. This is the room sound.
Whenever you're with me, sit there for hours and watch the cars go by.
That's a very short sounding room. Let's bring that up and make it nice and big. Let's reduce the diffusion.
Whenever you're with me, sit there for hours and watch the cars go by. It won't stop you and I.
Sounds really good. I'm really digging the room. Let's have a little bit more diffusion. Bring down the time.
Whenever you're with me.
There's a really nice smooth attack. Let's try over here.
You and I, we got a long, long life to live.
Really cool, really smooth. Let's try the hall.
Sit there for hours and watch the cars go by. It won't stop you and I.
Let's try the plate.
We've been climbing up the highest hills.
That just sounds so lush and so full. Let's try the second plate.
We've been climbing up the highest hills. My legs give out below.
They have a subtle but very, very characteristic change. And I like that it has a mid-band bump, so you can actually boost the mid-range, because I love the mid-range on plates. Let's try the springy one.
We've been climbing up the highest hills. My legs give out below me, but I do it for the thrill.
You can really kind of hear the springiness to it, and I think that's probably the best part with the guitar is if you use the springiness with the guitar, you can kind of hear the like almost that chirping kind of sound when you hit the springs. I actually have a bunch of spring reverb boxes because I love spring reverb, and this is something that I've always wanted is a really good sounding spring reverb. Let's try glass.
We've been climbing up the highest hills. My legs give out below me, but I do it for the thrill.
Now this one has a very transparent sound, as in it doesn't have a sound of a unique piece of gear or a piece of metal. It just has this nice, clean, reverberant sound. Let's see how that sounds in the mix, actually.
We've been climbing up the highest hills. My legs give out below me, but I do it for the thrill. Now you're just smoking and sitting on my knee. I always get the highest whenever you're with me.
Yeah, I like it. Let's try flow real quick. Let's see what this sounds like.
We've been
You kind of hear that decay. It kind of sounds like a flowing river almost. Let's listen to it real quick if we bring down the diffusion or bring up the bloom.
Won't stop you and I.
Sounds like it's going to continue forever.
You and I, we got a long, long life to live.
Let's try that in the mix maybe.
You and I, we got a long, long life to live.
Really cool. I like that. Let's bring down the acoustic guitar just a touch so we can actually hear the vocal a little bit more. Next we have Shimmer, which is actually one of my favorite algorithms. Like I said, I like this on guitar, but let's see what the pitch is up and down.
You and I, we got a long, long life to live. You and I.
You can kind of hear these really subtle pitch shifts as I move it up and down. It's very, very clean, but I love the sound. Let's try Bode. This is a kind of interesting sound.
You and I, we got a long, long life to live. You and I.
A very, very metallic sound, very interesting. And then we have Formant. Now, this is one of my favorite ones. And for this one, I'm going to have a lot of time, a lot of tone, and let's mess around with the Formant.
You and I, we got a long, long life to live. You and I, we got a long.
And if you listen to that decay, you can really hear what I meant when I said it has a cinematic, sci-fi, eerie sound to it. Let's see how this thing sounds like in the mix in general. We have my plate reverb already set up on this vocal. So I'm just going to bring it up a little bit. I'm going to actually center this up a little. I also have it going through my acoustic guitar. So if I just turn this on, and I will have all of these off. And let's see what we got.
With me, sit there for hours and watch the cars go by. It won't stop you and I.
Really, really cool, really, really clean, and I'm really digging the way it sounds. This is definitely something you want to have in your mix arsenal, and I'm loving how it has almost no CPU usage. Anyway, that's going to be it for today's video. This has been Jerry Mateo with Boutique, and I will see you guys next time.